Tell me if you've ever heard this before. I hate when insert genre of entertainment here gets political. If you think that this is an uncontroversial statement, you're not alone. Whether it be movies, scripted series, or reality TV garbage, consumers have long professed their desire for their entertainment to be a form of escapism. That is, to be devoid of anything related to political messaging or current events. Now, we can argue the semantics of the phrase all art is political and then debate about what art actually is for hours on end, but that's not what this series is about. As someone who produces television for a living, I see politics in just about everything. And I also know a lot about how much a viewer can take before they grab the remote and change the channel. In fact, my job is to literally make them not want to do that. So this new series re-examines the ways in which popular media like TV, movies, or video games use politics as a means of controversy or story framing, but don't want to alienate their audience in the process. And as you'll see soon enough, there's a lot of bizarre, half-baked, hilarious, and borderline offensive shit that happens as a result of that valiant effort. Welcome to episode 1 of Getting Political. Today we're going to be talking about the bizarre politics of dance moms. If you've never heard of the show, it's a popular American reality television series that aired on Lifetime from 2011 to 2019. The show follows the life and times of dancers at the Abby Lee Dance Company, a competition studio in Pittsburgh owned by choreographer Abby Lee Miller. The show is, fucking crazy. And while its 8-year run exposed a whole new audience to an insanely talented cast of performers and the world of competitive dance in general, it is also peak reality TV garbage and has often been criticized for essentially glamorizing child abuse. The main gist of every episode is that a cast of elite child dancers learn a new dance every week to perform at competitions. This is not how competitive dance works in the real world at all, by the way, and revolves around the drama between the girls, their mothers, and Abby. Usually they argue about things like solos, competition placements, favoritism, and the occasional unwarranted personal attack.
Our boss, who's living with a man who's still married!
That's it.
I did not have an affair with my boss. Yes, you did! No, I did not, bitch!
So before we get down and dirty here, I want to acknowledge that this video will not be about the cast and their political views post-show, because, yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. What we're going to talk about instead is the way that the showrunners, and to some extent Abby, use politics in their dances as a way to push controversy from episode to episode, and how the outcomes ranged from beautiful to kind of fucked up to just sad and meaningless. So let's start with the most iconic moment that everybody knows from the show, and if you don't know it, it's about to get real weird. Nia Frazier was the only mainstay black cast member on Dance Moms. Abby had been criticized in the past for hurling microaggressions at Nia and her mother Holly, like making fun of her hair or making her dance in an afro wig, yes really. But the episodes where Nia got a chance to shine outside of all the nonsense she had to deal with were honestly the best ones. In season 3 of the show, which aired in 2013, Abby decides to create a dance centered around civil rights icon Rosa Parks, and then says that she doesn't know who will be cast as the lead. Again, I reiterate, there is only one black girl on the team. All of the moms are reasonably confused about this until eventually Abby reveals that she was going to give the role to Nia all along and that she just wanted her to work a little harder for it. But one of the moms, Jill, whose daughter Kendall looks like this, insists that she would be perfect for the lead.
This one over here was over there trying to pitch her daughter to Abby as being Rosa Parks.
You actually asked her for that part.
Kendall never had a special part, people. I think every one of your kids has.
We think you should go down and say, you know what? I think I was mistaken. I don't think that this would be a good part for Kendall. I think Nia fits this role. Just act stupid and be like, I thought Rosa Parks was somebody different.
So fast forward to the competition and the group does the number, which actually turns out pretty decent, and Nia is praised for her role as the lead. Believe it or not, this is one of the only moments in the show where the show handles Nia's treatment pretty well. Still a little fucked up, but it was nice to see at least some of the moms understand why casting a dancer of color in certain roles is not only important, but necessary. So okay, that's an example of a social commentary heavy dance where you can clearly see what the producers were going for, what Abby was going for. It's all pretty cut and dry. Now let's talk about the time Abby tried to address Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
We all know about the military reference, don't ask, don't tell. But my take on that, I want everybody in this world to speak up and take a stand for themselves. So we're entitling this routine, don't ask, just tell.
So I'll jump to the chase here. There's literally no reason for this dance to be titled Don't Ask, Just Tell. It's a generic hip-hop number where the girls are dressed up in camo print. There is no through line of like a lead dancer coming to accept themselves or anything remotely related to the number's title. But they managed to shoehorn a surprisingly wholesome moment that kind of touches on it.
So, do you know what this dance means?
Really? Kind of.
Well, it's talking about gay people. It's like if you're in the military and somebody asks you, you're not supposed to say whether you are or you aren't. And you guys, especially being in the dance world, there's a lot of boys that dance that are gay. I just want you guys to grow up knowing it's everybody's choice to love who you want to love.
And then this is immediately ruined by Abby talking to the girls in a military lineup and yelling at them until they snitch on another cast member. But like, what exactly was the point of this? At least with the Rosa Parks dance, the narrative like made sense. And you'll notice this with a lot of other numbers from Abby that we'll look at. She'll make the title of the dance some kind of insightful political statement, and then the number itself falls flat and it's presented in the most palatable way possible so that it doesn't actually say anything. The only exception I can think of to this besides the Rosa Parks number is the Is There Still Hope dance in season 7, which portrayed the cast struggling with various things like addiction, eating disorders, and mental illness. But even that number, while beautiful, falls flat on like weirdly on-the-nose stereotyping and choreography. Alright, so we've covered how a cheaply produced reality TV show covers civil rights and homophobia in the military, but what about when the phrase getting political gets taken more literally? Now, something else I should mention about the show is that there's a rival dance studio in Ohio called the Candy Apples, where owner Kathy is constantly trying to best the Abby Lee Dance Company with outlandish and highly produced numbers. And in season 7, Kathy says that the elite team will be performing a dance about building a wall. Not the wall, a wall.
Now, this is a very controversial subject of building a wall. Not for anybody to feel offended whatsoever, because our wall is against Abby. And I want to make sure that she understands that every morning when she wakes up and peers outside, that she's going to see a red brick wall when she goes to jail. That's going to be her landscape.
So, reoccurring cast member Kaya, whose daughter Nikaya is on Kathy's team at this point, calls this out in a way that's funnier than I ever could.
I don't like what building a wall represents, period.
Kathy would not do wrong by any of us.
At some point, it's time for you to just really stop brown-nosing her and look at this for what it really is. When she starts talking about the wall, there's a dual meaning behind it. What's going on with this country is who the hell this country just elected as president.
Why would she go and do that? Like,
Because she's a Trump supporter. What the hell do you mean? Why would she do it? You know why she would do it.
So again, I reiterate, what is the point of this? The dance itself makes no actual commentary on, like, immigration or anything. It doesn't tell a story, it's just some kids building a wall on a stage. So clearly some producer went, hey guys, you know what would be fun? If we had the Candy Apples do a Trump-themed dance, didn't call it a Trump-themed dance, and then have the only black queer cast member explain why it's kind of fucked up to the other clueless moms, and then never speak of it again. And it's not that I expect top-notch class and social commentary from a show that starts every episode by ranking small children on a pyramid, but like, dance can be political and can be used to get messaging across in an effective and often beautiful way. But this shit, which would never ever be performed at a real dance competition, by the way, is just corny and meaningless. It's like the dances are only used as connective tissue to get one or two good controversial sound bites from the moms, and then the topic is never revisited again. How did the kids feel about performing a dance where they build a brick wall for no reason? We'll never know because the show isn't interested in going in depth on any of the politics they insist on making brief reference to. And I think that's why it's so frustrating to watch. And no number in the show epitomizes this more than Season 8's Thoughts and Prayers. So just a note about Season 8, it was a last-ditch attempt at reviving the show after all the original cast left and Abby went to jail and fought cancer, so the vibes here are all the way off to begin with. But what better way to get back in the swing of things than a number about mass shootings? Yes, Abby decides that her all-new elite team is going to take on the subject of gun control in the most ridiculous way possible. The dance is corny and basically has the kids dressed as school children running around on stage to police sirens, but the ending, the ending, has two dancers bring out protest signs that read Thoughts and Prayers versus No thoughts and prayers. So obviously thoughts and prayers is a reference to something that people often say after mass shootings that some people tend to take issue with because they see it as a band-aid for revisiting or reforming gun control legislation in America. But think about this for a second. Why the fuck would somebody put thoughts and prayers on a protest sign? Why are we resorting to this vague bullshit when you easily could have just put gun control now on one sign and called it a day? But no, we can't actually touch on what the debate here really is because that would be, wait for it, getting political. So we're left with this, a lazy, half-baked attempt at producers trying to drum up controversy and then being wholeheartedly committed to keeping the actual controversial parts out of it. This is why you fuckers didn't get a season 9. It's actually because Abby got canceled for being racist, but I don't think they would have made it there anyway. Now, the last thing I want to do is rain on anyone's parade for enjoying this show. I am very protective over my problematic reality TV trash, and Dance Moms is a very formative part of that experience for me. What I will encourage you to do, however, is check out Bring It if you haven't already seen it. It's a really interesting look at a dance culture that you might not know a lot about, and it has sick moments like this.
This tops everything. Diana knows she should not be out on the floor trying to do a stand bat and deliver in stands when her girls are in competition. I believe they should be disqualified right now.